Okay, so today's video might not be for everyone, but I've been reading my comments over the last few days and I've noticed that a few of you guys have been repeatedly asking me who you should give a brilliant CTP to. I know this is a touchy subject because CTPs are very hard to acquire and very expensive to upgrade, but currently we have a relatively cheap way to get yourself a brilliant CTP. And I say relatively cheap knowing that it is still expensive, but it is cheaper than gambling for a CTP and reforging and hoping, playing with RNG to acquire one. This one right here, or at least the selector for this one right here, cost me about 28,000 crystals, and I could have gotten it for as cheap as 24,000. But do keep in mind that along the way here, I got all of these rewards over on the side here, and we also got all of the rewards that we had to purchase for crystals. So overall, I would say I got about 80 or 90,000 crystals worth of stuff. And I got multiple selectors along the way, not just the brilliant, because if you take a look at the levels here, you get a regular CTP, an artifact selector, which may or may not be worth very much to you guys depending on how much you care about the artifact system, but we also got a mighty CTP, and then we're getting the brilliant CTP selector. I say all this to say, because I've been seeing the comments, I want to make a video talking about some of the characters that you should consider for your very first, or maybe, I don't know, your 10th brilliant CTP. I personally only have 2. This will be my 3rd one, and I'll tell you who I'm going to give it to and why. But keep in mind that Marvel Future Fight is a hero collector. And your reason for playing this game may not be to be the very best, like no one ever was, right? Maybe you don't want to be Ash Ketchum. Maybe you just want to enjoy the game and play with your friends, and that's good enough for you. However, if you're a meta hunter and you want to be one of the best in World Boss Legend, Timeline Battle, Extreme Alliance Battle, or Squad Battle, brilliance earn your future at some point. So let's talk about them. So I'm going to give you a list in no particular order of some of the characters that are very, very good candidates for a brilliant CTP simply because they're at the top of the game to some regard currently. However, do keep in mind that Marvel Future Fight is a living, breathing entity, and every couple weeks we get a new uniform or a new character that could supersede a character that currently exists, which means you might give a brilliant CTP to a character and their run get cut short because, you know, an update lands and we get a new OP blast character like Doctor Strange or a new OP universal character like Scarlet Witch, you name it. But the good thing is, unlike with an artifact, when a character gets replaced, you can simply take that brilliant CTP from them when it's on discount to remove a CTP, right? And you can then give that brilliant CTP to the new meta. Now, with that being said, let's jump right into it. The very first character that I think you should consider if you are giving a character a brilliant CTP is one of the most used characters currently in the game, and that is Sharon Rogers. If you take a look at the high level requirements for Mephisto and Null, this character is heavily favored. I'm not too sure if it's because she's Netmarble's love child, but the high stages, I'm talking 45 to 49 against Mephisto and then 60 to 64 against Mephisto, Sharon Rogers is the go-to character for that. And again, I say if you're giving a brilliant CTP to a character, I'm assuming that you are a meta hunter. You're trying to be the best of the best of the best. Otherwise, those brilliants should sit in your inventory like they're sitting in mine. So, Sharon Rogers, amazing for World Boss Legend with a brilliant destruction, but if you don't have a brilliant destruction and you have a brilliant energy, that is the second best option for her. In addition to World Boss Legend, she is currently meta for Squad Battle because of the fact that she is a blast human female. She shares that category with Moonstone. So you guys want to consider her for your brilliant energy or destruction if you're giving out one. Speaking of Moonstone, she's the second character I'm going to put in today's video as a candidate for you to consider if you're giving out a brilliant CTP of energy or destruction. Destruction's always going to give you more damage than energy, but energy is very, very close to it. Now, The reason why you want to consider Moonstone is because just like Sharon Rogers, she is heavily favored for very high levels in World Boss Legend. I'm talking 45 to 49 Mephisto, notoriously difficult, and then 55 to 59 against Null. In addition to that, she does share that squad battle tag with Sharon Rogers, the female blast human category. It is a tag method to get the highest score possible. With double brilliance, you could push like 11 million with those girls, or these girls I should say. Additionally, unlike Sharon Rogers, she is a ABX character and she does do a swap method on the blast villain day with Mephisto. So you definitely want to consider Moonstone because she covers 3 different pieces of content, and that's how you're going to get value out of your brilliant. Speaking of Mephisto, I'm going to put him on this list as well as a character for you to consider if you're giving out a brilliant CTP of Judgment. Notice I have Mighty on these characters because I see their value, but I just don't have the money. Well, I kind of, yeah, I don't, okay? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of just giving out brilliance. It's just too expensive. Point is, Mephisto, very, very good candidate for a brilliant CTP of Judgment because he shares that blast category, so he can do 45 to 49, and then he can also do 55 to 59 against himself. Very, very difficult, but he can do it. Additionally, for Blast Male Day in Extreme Alliance Battle and Blast Villain Day, he's currently the meta. However, Doctor Strange might have something to say about that. We'll have to wait and see. The only thing is, Doctor Strange works best with a Rage, and Rage can currently not be reforged. So I highly doubt that Doctor Strange with a normal Rage is going to eclipse Mephisto with a brilliant Judgment. So for now, he's holding down 2 categories by himself, solo dolo, or you can use the tag method on the Blast Villain Day with Moonstone to get you the highest score possible. And in addition to that, you can get some World Boss level or World Boss Legend levels with him. Next character we're going to put on this list, ladies and gentlemen, is Supergiant. Yes, Supergiant is another character that you want to consider for a brilliant Judgment. You're going to notice a trend here. The brilliant Judgments are used very, very much in World Boss Legend and Extreme Alliance Battle, and they're starting to take over in squad battle as well. But the reason why you want Supergiant is because of the fact that she's currently the strongest female villain in the game. So she's going to cover that tag for you in Extreme Alliance Battle. If you're a meta hunter, you're going for the highest scores. And in addition to that, stages 65 to 69 against Mephisto with a brilliant Judgment, she's going to be the ultimate weapon. So if you're pushing high stages in World Boss Legend, she's your girl, and she can also hold down ABX. The next character that you should consider for a brilliant Judgment, and the character that is going to receive my very first brilliant Judgment, is Scarlet Witch. And as you can see, your boy been putting in some more work, and we are currently ranked 25 in the world. Can I get a hell yeah? Your boy putting in that work, man. But Scarlet Witch is currently the best female superhero in the game, and she's gonna hold down 2 different days every week. Basically on Saturdays, she's gonna be the top scorer for Extreme Alliance Battle. So if you want to get as close to 12 million as possible, you want to give Scarlet Witch a brilliant Judgment. And in addition to that, the no restriction category, you will be able to double dip or triple dip because she's already covering 2 days of ABX, 1 every week. And in addition to that squad battle, she can cap. I can attest to that. A couple of my homies already sent me screenshot, and I got the word on the block that she's getting 12 million boys in squad battle. Bye bye Luna Snow. Scarlet Witch is here. She's covering 3 different things. So this is a way better investment versus building Luna Snow just for her to be good in squad battle. Well, she would be getting 12 million in squad battle, but still being mediocre for World Boss Legend and losing to Makari in ABX. So you're better off giving Scarlet Witch that brilliant Judgment, boys. It's Judgment time. Anyways, let's move on. Now, the next character on this list, I'm gonna give you 3 different options for all brilliance, and she is worth every single one of them. And that is Emma. As you can see, I have my girl rank 57 in the world. If only I had the resources to get a few more brilliants, I would be pushing for top 50. But if you really love Emma Frost and you want to see her shine, ladies and gentlemen, stages 45 to 49 against Mephisto. She's one of the tankiest, if not the tankiest, blast character in the game. Sharon Rogers and Moonstone probably have more damage, but they die hella fast. However, the Diamond Queen, Emma Frost, she just tanks like a monster, right? So pretty easy for you to cut through those stages with her. Additionally, 50 to 54, she is the strongest, most reliable mutant in the game right now. Okay, top tier DPS and survivability. Cable can do 50 to 54, but he dies very easily. Psylocke can do 50 to 54, but she dies very easily. Emma Frost tanks like a monster, and she got the damage to back it up. So if you got a brilliant judgment to throw on the queen, you can do that. But let's say you like me, and you like to troll people in timeline battle, you like to push for top 100, maybe step into challenger, you know, a few times a month. Well, you can give this queen a brilliant regen so you can be toxic. Or if, let's say you're tired of fighting other Emma Frosts and having them reflect damage back in your face and you dying to that, you can give her a brilliant grade. Because guess what? The brilliant greed will actually make it so that you don't take damage from reflect. And if you don't believe me that the brilliant greed is an amazing option for Emma Frost, check out the additional effects that are not listed on the ambush. Ambush grants immunity to guard break, super guard break, immunity to damage reflected by enemies, and it ignores the damage decrease effect. Okay, there's a lot hidden behind this ambush. You just gonna jump your enemies and they not gonna know what hit them. Trust me when I say Emma Frost with a brilliant greed is amazing if you got it to throw on her. So 3 different options for the queen. Yes, sir. Now, the next character I'm going to be recommending for brilliant, and this is only if you are a meta hunter, you want the highest scores possible, you want to be at the tippity top of that game in squad battle. Okay, so a brilliant judgment is what you're going to need for Ghost Rider if you want to get close to 12 million in squad battle for the universal superhero category. I'm talking about this one right here in case for some reason you're in the wood leagues. I'm talking about this category right here. Ghost Rider is the highest scorer currently because he has 2 support systems available to him in Big Nova and Ghost Panther. But if you don't care about that piece of content, which you should because you're missing out on a bunch of rewards, if you're skipping over it, then you don't need to give Ghost Rider a brilliant, because realistically he's not that great outside of squad battle. You may not believe me, but I have my Ghost Rider built kind of well, and I will be investing more into him because he's the best for that category, and I don't see him getting replaced anytime soon because Ghost Panther exists. That extra damage, fire damage specifically, that he's getting is going to give him an edge over anybody else who gets a uniform in that category, including Sentry. Anyways, moving on. Next character that you could consider for brilliant, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this one is very, very similar to Ghost Rider. One trick pony, one category, one reason, and that is squad battle for the speed mutant category, the one just below Ghost Rider. I have my rogue built really well, as you can see, fully stacked with Odin's. I love Rogue as a character, but unfortunately, she's not that great outside of squad battle, and the only reason for you to give her anything at this point is for squad battle. Squad battle is worth playing. The rewards over time, they accumulate just like story, and will help you get multiple characters transcended every single month if you are actively playing that content to the best of your abilities. Moving on, the next character that you could consider for a brilliant CTP of Judgment. You notice how often I say brilliant CTP of Judgment? They're very popular right now. It's very competitive for them. But this one right here is only a temporary decision. So check this out. You could consider giving Electro a brilliant CTP of Judgment because he's currently the best speed human supervillain in the game. However, remember what I said at the beginning of the video. This is something that you can take off later and give to someone else, and in his case specifically, his replacement already exists. So maybe you don't want to give him your brilliant, because when Green Goblin gets a tier 3 or an awakening, he will definitely, well, you know what, let me not say definitely because they could shaft him, right? There's a high probability that Green Goblin is going to replace Electro for squad battle, the one thing that he's good at. And in addition to that, Green Goblin is really good for Extreme Alliance battle, and I see that, or at least some of that potential, carrying over to World Boss Legend. So because of that, you might want to hold off giving Electro that judgment, or maybe you give it to him, and when there's a discount to remove it, you remove it when Green Goblin gets his tier 3. Because Green Goblin is going to have much more value later on than Electro. Now, the next character I have to put on this list is Wolverine. I know a lot of you guys don't think he's that great, and to be honest with you, for World Boss Legend, he is not very good, but for ABX, he's currently the strongest combat superhero in the game, and with the Phoenix 5 uniform giving him fire damage, the best CTP for him for ABX is a CTP of Judgment. Notice how many times the CTP of Judgment is coming up throughout this video. So if you were wondering which CTP is the most valuable in the game right now, the Brilliant version anyways, it's Judgment, baby. Now you'll notice that my Wolverine is using a Mighty Authority. Why is that? That's because I don't use Wolverine for ABX, I'm still using Venom. Yes, I'm losing about 2 million on average in terms of how much I could be getting for ABX, but I like to use Wolverine with an authority because he's pretty toxic. For AC, because I have his artifact that makes him unkillable for a few seconds, so giving him that damage reduction is actually pretty nice. Now, I wouldn't say I would recommend a brilliant authority for Wolverine, but I like the Mighty, so I'm gonna keep experimenting with it, and maybe at some point I'll try him with a brilliant if I ever get one, a brilliant authority that is, and see how well it works for him. But for now, the best CTP for Wolverine, if you care about ABX, is a Brilliant Judgment. Otherwise, I would say go to Mighty Authority if you don't care about PvE content with Wolverine specifically. Now, the next character that you could consider for a brilliant CTP is Dr. Doom. And honestly, this is an iffy one because there's more and more characters coming out that can kill Dr. Doom in PvP. But if you really like him, he's very, very powerful, and a brilliant authority is the best way to go for PvP, more specifically timeline battle and alliance conquest. However, me personally, I use Dr. Doom for squad battle. He gets me about 9 to 9.2 million every single week. I've seen people score higher, so I use him with a CTP of Rage. Keep that in mind. A brilliant CTP of Authority is what you want to go for if you want the most PvP value out of them. Additionally, if you don't care about squad battle or PvP, you can run Dr. Doom with a brilliant Destruction or a brilliant Energy, and he's actually going to be very, very good for stage 55 against Mephisto, and also 65 to 69 against Null, because 65 to 69 requires that you use universal males against Null, and then against Mephisto 55 to 59 requires that you use villains. And Dr. Doom is definitely, hands down, the strongest villain in the game, and that includes Mephisto. So Dr. Doom has plenty of options when it comes to brilliant CTPs. He's the most deserving one. He's God King Emperor Doom, god damn it. So brilliant Energy, great for him. Brilliant Destruction, great for him. Brilliant Authority, great for him. Just depends on where you want to use him. For me personally, I'm using him in squad battle because those Mandalay gem fragments, they're juicy, they're spicy, and I need those. The next character I want to mention, I'm gonna do a 2 for here because they're very, very similar. Adam Warlock and Sentry. If you have a brilliant greed, and I didn't sell you on how useful it could be for Emma Frost, or you just like to be toxic like me and you like to run that regen for that safety net so you can bounce back, then you could consider this guy or this guy for a brilliant CTP of greed. Additionally, because he has immunity to guard break built into his kit, Adam Warlock actually works really well with a brilliant CTP of energy. I am going to change this next time there's a discount to remove it, because I want to give him all attack instead of this pierce thing, because pierce not really helping me too much in timeline. It's not going to help you too much either. You want to ideally one-shot the enemy with the all attack buff, or tank the other Sentry, sorry, not Sentry, they're very similar. Anyways, the other Adam Warlock's incoming attack by having the additional defense, because you get either all attack and defense, or you'll get the pierce, and I think the pierce is not really that useful for a timeline. Next character, the final one, is Thanos. Thanos, if you have 70% or more HP from your cards, you can consider giving him a brilliant authority. But for me, I find that my Thanos currently with 66% HP on my cards just performs better with a mighty regen. So I'm willing to bet that a brilliant regen for where my HP pool currently is the way to go. I've seen whales running with a brilliant authority, and I've killed those whales repeatedly, but maybe there's something they know that I don't. Maybe I just need to get more HP on my cards, but from everything I've seen personally, it seems like Thanos works best with a mighty or a brilliant regeneration. I'll come back to you guys with some more info on that one if I ever get to 90% max HP on my cards. Maybe the extra 24% will make it so that the authority starts doing more. Now, the final CTP in this selector that I did not talk about is Transcendence, and no one should be selecting it. You should not be reforging Transcendence. You should not be selecting Transcendence from any selectors. These CTPs are supposed to be used as fodder to rank up the better CTPs, whether it's greed, judgment, regen, destruction, energy, or authority. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if it was helpful, and I will catch you next time.